Good evening. My name is Ram, and welcome to number 8 of a sequence of 15 meditations, a meditation challenge. As you know, it's 15 so that you develop some sort of habit. And after the 2 weeks are over, you can figure out whether you want to maintain this habit. And you'll, in fact, find that it may not be that you're meditating at 9 o'clock in the evening every day. It may be in the morning, maybe for a very short period of time, where you may be able to focus very earnestly for a short period of time that almost gives you a reset, a perspective on life that you might find comforting and useful. Now, as we get into the second half, we're going to be looking at much more some of the wisdom traditions of Advaita Vedanta that I study and I teach. So we're now going to fill the gaps between the thoughts, fill the area of your mind with certain ideas for you to contemplate upon in your own time. Because we all need to look at these things in order to understand who we are. You could say that the world is very simply split between the two things, me and everything else. As I've said before, the me is normally referred to as Atma. Everything else is Anatma. And for you to understand where you sit in the world, you have to understand where does Atma begin and where does it end? Where does Anatma begin and where does that end? In fact, where do I go up to and then it is something else? Now, there's a number of techniques for trying to figure out who I am. This is really a self-inquiry. Who am I? What am I? Because I've gone through the first stage. I've gone through the first stage of knowing definitely that I exist. If you ask anybody, do you exist? They say, yes, definitely. You could say, how do you know? And they wouldn't be able to tell you. Because we don't know how we know that we exist. But that's another matter. So let's start with one of the techniques that's very well known in the tradition, and that's Panchakosha Viveka. So this is where the self, ourselves, are split into as if we have 5 layers, 5 sheaths, in trying to understand whether we are one of these sheaths or none of these sheaths or all of these sheaths. And these 5 layers are going from the most physical to the most subtle of our existence. The first layer is what's called the Annamaya Kosha. Anno, it means food. Kosha means the layer. Annamaya Kosha is the food layer. This is the physical layer. This is what you see in front of you now on this video. This is just food reorganized. All of our bodies, our physical bodies, is just food reorganized. That's why we eat. Now, you could say, all right, this is the first of our layers. Is this really me? And you stand in front of the mirror and say, of course it's me. And as we started to delve into it, if part of me was missing, I was missing a leg or an arm, would I still be me? And the answer is yes. I'm not this food layer. In fact, this brings up a very easy way of figuring out what you are. If you know something If you see something, if you can feel something, what you know, see, or feel cannot be you. I can see this body. I can touch this body. I can interact with this body. I can lose part of this body. Therefore, I'm not the body. I have a body, like I may have a car, or a pen, or a computer. I have a body. It's a very special thing because it's my body. I have a great attachment to it, but it's still a possession. I'm not the body, just as I'm not my car. The Annamaya Kosha. Then you get subtle, more subtle than that. And the next one is the Pranamaya Kosha. This is the physiological layer. This is where the pranas are, the breath, the blood circulation, and so forth. It what makes this inert body made up of food reorganized into something that is living. And you could say, well, the living body, that's definitely me. It's living because when that prana leaves the body, it becomes a dead body. And as we know, a dead body doesn't do anything. It's not worth anything. We tend to burn it or bury it and generally throw it away. It has no further use. Are we the Pranamaya Kosha? Are we this life force? Can I detect the life force? Yes, I can. Who's detecting the life force? Me. Therefore, what I'm detecting cannot be me. Above this Pranamaya Kosha is the Manomaya Kosha. Now we're getting into the mind. We're getting into part of the mind that is the rational mind, the one that has emotions and memory. That surely is me. But do I know what I'm thinking about? Yes, I do. Can I recall a memory of a past event? Yes, I can. Do I know when I'm sad and I'm happy? Yes, I do. Then who is the one that knows? And what is it that is sad? Because the two are not the same. Cannot be. That which I know cannot be me. The sadness that is something that I know, it is not me. And in order to know it, I can see the rise and fall of sadness. I'm a constant I. Above the Manomaya Kosha is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is the intellectual part of us. This is where the intellect and the ego resides. What most people think are the real me, the I. And we've talked before about ego meaning the I. But we're not this layer either. Because intellect is a thinking pattern, an analysis pattern. Do I know when I've thought of something? When I've analyzed it, I know what it is? Yes, I do. Then I'm the knower and not the known. That cannot be me, the real me either. And finally, we have the Anandamaya Kosha, what's called the bliss layer. What is this layer? This is the layer beyond thinking and intellect. This is the layer that of pure enjoyment when you see a baby smile, when you hear your favorite song. And yet this layer too is not you, because you know when you're blissfully happy. So we have a task on our hands. We have to understand who we are if we're to understand our position in the world. Because the world is centered upon me. Me, I, the real I, is Atma. And anything other than I is Anatma. Atma, Anatma. Interesting. Because if you stand in front of me then I can say Atma, and anything outside of me is Anatma. And you're standing in front of me and you're saying Atma, and you're referring to me and you say Anatma. So what is Atma to me is Anatma to you. Confusing. If there's a level of confusion, if there's a level of doubt, then that means there's an inkling into which we can inquire to find out the truth. Where do I begin? Where do I end and you begin? Where does my Atma end and your Atma begin? An interesting question. Until we know who we are, who we really are, we cannot be in this world and understand it fully. So let's prepare ourselves for tonight's meditation. You know the drill by now. You've already settled down. Although your mind is buzzing a little bit from my words, your body is settled. You are grounded. Your breath has been gentle. You are being breathed. You've got various techniques now to relax even further. You can check in on all parts of your body. You can scan your body from head to toe, relaxing muscles as you do so. Every outward breath is an opportunity to relax a little bit more. This is becoming easier. The amplitude, i.e., the severity of the thoughts that come into your head, is diminished. Thoughts still come, but you've now built up a technique of allowing them to drift by gently, like clouds revealing the blue sky that you are. So now you're relaxed. You, and in your case, I am here. I'm the meditator. I know I'm the meditator because I know my mind is attempting to meditate. Now let go of that also. You are the knower. Everything else is the known. You're separate from everything else. Go through those 5 layers of the body: the physical, the physiological, the emotional, the intellectual, and the blissful parts of you. And understand, because you are aware of each of those, they are the known, and you are the knower. I'll leave you alone for a few minutes to contemplate that as you work slowly, starting with the physical, work through the more subtle and subtle elements of your body and come to understand that you are the inner knower. Atma, the self, or the inner knower of all those things. remember that which I'm aware of cannot be me. I am the awareness. And what I'm aware of is the object of my awareness. I am aware of you as you're in front of me. Are you in my awareness? Yes. Can I be aware of anything that is not in my awareness? No. So you are within my awareness. I am within your awareness. Does that mean the awarenesses are all mixed up? That your awareness extends to me, my awareness extends to you? If I see a distant star, my awareness extends right up to the star, billions of light years away. How big is my awareness? You come to realize that my awareness doesn't actually have an edge. Your awareness doesn't have an edge. When two things don't have an edge, it means that they are one and the same thing. The awareness by which I know my body and mind is the same awareness by which you know your body and mind. The awareness is one. We have separate bodies and minds to be aware of, but the awareness, and another word for it is consciousness, is one. There is no second Atma. You and I are one. Think about that for a moment. Welcome back. Congratulations. That was not an easy thing to contemplate. It has far-reaching implications. Just let it marinate in your mind as you gently drift off to sleep tonight. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow. So let's close. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.